Good afternoon. Today we are going to answer the question, what is the Implicit Association Test, or the IAT? To begin, the Implicit Association Test is a test that analyzes a test taker's response patterns to a series of control groups and, in turn, determines if that individual has a specific preference to one of those groups. In other words, this test determines if the test taker has an underlying bias for that one control group. Now on to the introduction. Anthony G. Greenwald, a social psychologist professor at the University of Washington, had developed the IAT in 1995. This test determines these preferences by analyzing the response times that an individual takes to answer the questions. Now, the questions are typically set up with two control groups. A certain test that I will talk later is the Gender and Career IAT test. And this test had the control group of male and female names, and then also words that would be considered with a family position or a career position. Now, you would start out determining, using the E and I keys, what names were male and female in the first step. In the second step, you would then sort words using the E and I keys, words that had to do with family or home, and words that would then do with a career. Then these two categories would then be combined, and you would have to sort them using the E and I keys. Now, say the E key would be male names with career-oriented words, and the I key would be female names with a family-oriented term. This is a very important step in the test, along with the next one. Now, the next one, they have the combined terms yet again, but this time, they would switch and swap the terms. Instead of what it was before, now they would have female names on the E key with words that have a career connotation, and on the I key they would then have male names that would have a family or home connotation. Now, these two steps and the response time that it takes to answer is what they take into effect in order to determine an individual's preference. So, if an individual is more quick or apt to answer female names with family terms, they would then be considered to have a preference for women in home positions. Now, the reliability and validity of this test is argued regularly by professionals. In order to have an acceptable rating for a test, the reliability would have to be a 0.7 or 0.8 is preferable in most cases. The IAT has a regular rating of an only 0.5. So through this data, it can be considered not very reliable. Now, the results of this test is not always consistent. Because the environment plays a key role while you answer. You may answer or group the terms differently than you were before. Because of this, you would be considered differently and fall into a different group than you may have before. Now, the gender and career IAT is most applicable to my life. Now, the result that I had gotten after taking was that I had a moderate automatic association for males with career and females with family. This is true because as I grew up, my stepfather was the primary male figure in my life. He was the one that had worked and held a career. On the other hand, my mother stayed home because of her disabilities that made it unable for her to work. I had shared these test results with a total of 32% of the 846,020 IAT test takers that had previously taken the test. Now, even with all of the arguments against the test, this test continues to be one of the most widely used forms of assessment for implicit association. Thank you very much for watching my video, and I hope you have a wonderful day.